If I'm contemplating a divorce, what are things that I can do to protect the assets that I have, knowing that I'm going to be going into a divorce process?
Absolutely, number one on my list, financial transparency and understanding. I can't tell you the number of times I speak with a client and they say to me, I have no idea what our financial picture is. He or she controls all the books. He or she does all our taxes. They're the ones who control our investments. I don't even know if we have investments or where they are. And I think what's most important when you're contemplating divorce is to understand what's actually on the table. There's a great risk you're gonna miss something. And then it's incumbent on the other party and your reliance on the other party to disclose all of those assets.
Attorney Kinsler, can you please explain to everyone what does it mean when the state of Wisconsin says that this is a 50-50 state?
A 50-50 state is a presumption that all property acquired either prior to or during the marriage is presumed to be part of the marital estate. And at the end, upon divorce, divided equally in equal portions.
Does that always happen in court?
It does not always happen. It's a presumption, but there are plenty of factors that are going to determine what the actual property division is going to be, and it may not be equal. There are factors such as marital waste, meaning if one party took either property or income during the marriage and liquidated it and got rid of it, and it didn't have a marital purpose when they got rid of it. Typical example that everyone asks about is gambling, whether gambling would be marital waste. Probably a better example is if during a marriage someone had a significant other, an extramarital affair, and they took marital property or marital income and they spent it on that affair. That would be considered marital waste. And at the end of the day, when the court's going to decide the division of property, they would make sure that the person who didn't spend that money outside of the marriage was credited with a greater portion of the estate. Another example of what might offset equal property division could be if they made any agreements prior to the marriage or even after the marriage in the form of a prenuptial agreement or postnuptial agreement. Another way that equal division might be thrown off is if an asset was earned substantially prior to the marriage.
What are some of the benefits of living in a community property state?
I think one of the benefits, one is that you have a fairly predictable outcome. It's not a certain outcome, but it's a fairly predictable outcome when you're getting divorced as to what you're going to receive upon property division. I think another, frankly, a very good and decent policy decision around community property is that it protects both spouses. The genesis of the notion of community property is that it was looking out for spouses who traditionally didn't earn. Maybe one spouse was earning the entirety of the income, and the other spouse was, for instance, a homemaker in traditional settings, right? And so what community property did is it put both people on an equal playing field with equal leverage so that upon a divorce, the person who was earning more wasn't taking away more. Rather, it's the presumption that when two people are married and they enter into it voluntarily, they're equally contributing, no matter what they're contributing, to the entire marital estate.